This will unlock the Lakers as after a dominant win over the Denver Nuggets, J.J. Redick has revealed master plans to help propel the Lakers to the upper echelon of the NBA. We're going to break down what these plans are and how ultimately is going to lead to success, continued success on the basketball court for your Los Angeles Lakers. And welcome to Lakers Digest here, guys. My name is Hunter Pitcoff. We cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. We are so close. This close. In fact, by the time you're watching this, there's even a chance that we have reached 16,000 subscribers, which is massive growth for this channel. And that's not without you guys, right? We don't grow without the support and without the subscribers. If you've been watching our content, because a lot of you guys are, in fact, almost 90% of you guys are watching our content without subscribing. So if you are a fan of the content, you like what we got going on here, you want to be tapped into everything, reports, rumors, game coverage surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers, stop what you're doing right now. Just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a dime, and you can keep up with everything we got going on here and join our growing family before the bandwagon leaves the station. But guys, I don't want to keep you waiting too much longer here. Let's just get into today's video. Scratching the surface. That's what we're going to call these comments that J.J. Redick made, because, of course, this is still, despite the fact that we are past the All-Star break, despite the fact that we're past the deadline, Luka Doncic now has been a Laker for weeks now. It's still in the early stages of this relationship, and this is what J.J. Redick had to say after the game over the Denver Nuggets. He said, quote, "I think Luka needs to be the guy that controls the offense, and Bron and AR, because we're going to stagger everybody, they're going to have their times to be on the ball, but all three of those guys are very intelligent basketball players, and we can create mismatches. We can get teams in the blender, and a lot of times, that's how we're able to generate, I thought, some great looks in the first half of that Denver Nuggets game. Made some early, and then when cold, we felt we were getting good offense throughout the first half." And that is a very good point that J.J. Redick brings up, because when you bring in a guy like Luka Doncic, right, this is someone who is in the conversation for top 5 player, even arguably best player in the NBA every single season. He has been first-team All-NBA each of the past 5 seasons, right? So Luka Doncic and the way he plays the game, you have to completely cater to his play style, right? This is someone at this point of his career is by far and away at his best when he has the ball in his hands, because he can drop 30, 35 points every single game, like we saw against Denver, where he finally had that breakout moment for the Lakers. And he also can find open teammates as well as any player his size has in NBA history. I mean, one of the guys who can is LeBron James, who also has that same type of height and size as well, though LeBron, of course, is a much more superior athlete compared to Luka Doncic. But Luka, when he plays his best basketball, guys, it is his ability to set up his teammates as well as create shots for himself, and therefore being on the ball, which he really wasn't as on the ball as I would have liked those first few games, as he was kind of being a little bit more of a bystander. But once he got acclimated, obviously he's getting healthier, obviously he's getting his conditioning better, and obviously he's adjusting to his new team, his new teammates, but also his new city and his new life, after he, of course, thought he was going to play the rest of his career with the Dallas Mavericks. And the point that J.J. Redick brought up, right, is the questions that people were asking, right? Can Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reaves all coexist on a basketball court? All three of them have success, be successful all at the same time. J.J. Redick thinks so because of their ability to play off of each other, and we saw that on full display against the Denver Nuggets. So the first time this season, the Lakers had 4 players score at least 20 points. Of course, you got Luka leading the way with 32 points and 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Austin Reaves also with 7 assists as well to go along with 23 points. You got LeBron James with 25. Then even Hachimura, someone who everyone has questioned is his fit, ends up going 7-12, 4-9 from 3, and 21 points, including going for 12 points in the third quarter, which really helped keep pace with the Denver Nuggets. And then, of course, in the fourth, when the Los Angeles Lakers really extended their way past Denver to, pull off the 20-ish point win over the Denver Nuggets. So, yes, in fact, your fourth option, Rui Hachimura, has shown that he can also coexist with these guys too. All of them have very versatile offensive games. All of them are pretty unselfish players for the most part. I know Rui's not the playmaker of those guys, but still, he's an unselfish player who will, is able to score a lot of points without having to dominate the ball as much, which is also really important. And so Luka Doncic having the ball in his hands is also going to just make him feel a lot more comfortable. This is an unfamiliar situation, unfamiliar territory that Luka is in right now. And when you bring in a star player to change the dynamic of your team, it's going to take a lot of moving parts. And so far, JJ Redick has done a pretty good job of that, right? They are, I believe, 2-2 since they've gotten Luka Doncic. They might be 3-2, but 2-2 when he's played because he didn't play in that game against the Portland Trailblazers. But and Lakers are gonna have a lot of back-to-backs coming up here. So, according to the reports, Luka should be playing in those. So that's obviously good. He's not gonna just be held out of every single back-to-back. Of course, you want to keep LeBron James healthy and fresh as he's playing some of the best basketball he's played this season, as good as any 40-year-old we've ever seen in NBA history. So, obviously, that is a plus too. But Luka Doncic with the ball in his hands is the reason why everyone calls him Luka Magic, because his ability to make some of these crazy passes. I mean, we saw the outlet pass right in the beginning of the game to LeBron James for an easy dunk. Like, having LeBron off the ball is going to actually benefit the Lakers a ton because it's going to preserve his career. It's going to preserve his legs. It's going to put a lot less pressure on him. And I think with more limited, perhaps, but efficient touches, it's going to help out LeBron James, right? He doesn't have to pick and choose his spots throughout the game like he did with Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis isn't a primary facilitator like that, like Luka Doncic is. So to have that kind of asset, and Austin Reaves too, at this point in LeBron's career, I think it's going to be super beneficial. He can focus on a lot of different other things like rebounding, defense. We're already seeing him play harder on that side of the ball, as well as rebounding the ball at a high level, especially if the Lakers want to play small ball. That's going to require LeBron James to perhaps play center at times, even for the Los Angeles Lakers, and to switch a lot onto different players. And he's going to need that energy on that side of the court. And that's why the Lakers have been playing some really good defense as of late, despite not having two of their best defensive players this season in Anthony Davis and Max Christie now elsewhere with the Dallas Mavericks. But guys, speaking of that team, the revenge game is coming up here. If you're watching this on Monday, you could be watching this on Sunday night as well. It's going to be happening on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on the West Coast Pacific time. If you're an East Coast guy like me, it's going to be 10 p.m. But this is going to be a crazy game. For one, it's going to be on TNT. Everyone's going to be watching. It's going to be in Los Angeles as well. So I think it's going to be a little bit easier for Luka, maybe a little bit less emotional than if he had to go back to Dallas for Luka. So I think that's definitely going to help him a little bit to play in front of the Lakers' home crowd. And he's going to have a lot of nerves. I mean, we really haven't seen a trade like this in NBA history. We've seen star players get moved. That's not what we're saying. But how it happened, as well as just the shock of it all, Luka being shocked, that the Mavericks giving up on someone his age who just took him to the NBA Finals. It's going to be a lot going on. Anthony Davis is not going to be playing, though, so I think that takes down the excitement just a little bit. But it would have been really interesting to see both those guys out there. But we're getting this matchup pretty early, and Luka is also coming off a really awesome game with 32, 10, and 7. So the fact that Luka's already had that welcome to the Lakers moment, to really, get the fans excited, to have that monkey off his back. I think he's going to play a little bit more freer than if he had a bad game against the Denver Nuggets here. But Luka Doncic, him having the ball in his hands, that's definitely not a bad thing, guys. I think that's how the Lakers are going to operate not only this year, but next season, the post-LeBron era. They're going to want Luka Doncic to be the primary playmaker, and obviously that makes a lot of sense. They want him to play his game like LeBron James says. Don't fit in, fit out, be yourself. And the Los Angeles Lakers clearly got their heads on straight, as well as JJ Redick revealing that Luka Doncic is going to be the primary ball handler for the Los Angeles Lakers. But let me know down below in the comments, guys. Do you agree with that? Luka being the primary playmaker? And let me know your thoughts on this game coming up against the Dallas Mavericks, because we're obviously going to be watching it. We're going to be covering it here on Lakers Digest. We'll be covering the game post-game, as well as any sort of information leading up to this highly anticipated game. Probably one of the most highly anticipated games of this season and perhaps of recent memory, because of just how crazy this trade ended up being. And I'm going to just say it one more time for the people in the back here, because almost 90% of you guys watching our content over the last month, as our channel has skyrocketed in views and subscribers, 90% of you guys watching are not subscribed, though. So all we ask, if you've watched all the way through this video, you're enjoying what we're watching. Maybe you're not enjoying and you just want to hate. We know you guys are in the comments too. I prefer you not to do that, but if you do, just click subscribe so you keep up with everything up to date here surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers here on Lakers Digest.